on from the people of Ghana because of the way that he's doing things. So first it started with the Honorable Apujinapo, who claimed that President Mahama has appointed 100 presidential staffers and is only seeking to make up for the shortfall in ministers by appointing more presidential staffers. Then lately, Dr. Gideon Buaku, who incidentally has worked in the office of the president before, under the office of the vice president, went out to spread gratuitous falsehoods about the composition of the staff of the office of the president and the monies allocated to the office of the president. Now, the office of the president is made up of a number of entities. So there's what we call the General Administration, Office of the Chief of Staff, Vice President Secretariat, Cabinet Secretariat, Press Secretariat, and then Policy Coordination and Delivery Unit. These are the units that make up the office of the president. In addition to these units, there are other government agencies that fall under the office of the president. So together we call them Office of Government Machinery. Under the MPP, the Office of Government Machinery had 26 entities. That is if you add the units under the office of the president. That number was made up of a number of agencies. The list is before me, I could go through all of them. But they created new entities. Coastal Development Authority, Middle Belt Development Authority, IPEP, the one that used to be headed by Howard Kumsin as a whole ministry before it was moved under the office of the president. And then there's also the Northern Development Authority, the Zongo Development Fund, and what have you. Because President Mahama reduced the number of ministries from 30 to 23. Some agencies that used to operate under the collapsed ministries have been moved to the office of the president for budgetary purposes. Because when the budget is being prepared, the staff of those agencies have to be accounted for. That accounting has to go through a mother agency. So for instance, there was a Ministry of Information, which was headed by a minister. It had 76 directors and staff, civil servants. That ministry doesn't exist anymore. So all the directors and civil servants have left. There's no such thing. Some of them have been reassigned. Now the president appointed me as his spokesperson and Minister of State for Government Communication. That means that all the agencies that used to work under the Ministry of Information have had to come under my jurisdiction. There are some of them who are state-owned enterprises, like the Ghana Publishing Company Limited, Graphic Communication Group, and New Times Corporation. They are state-owned enterprises, so now they fall under SIGA. But the Ghana News Agency, for instance, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the Information Services Departments, and what have you, fall under me. Now, the staff of these organizations are civil servants who have to be paid. Let me add that President Mahama has not employed a single civil servant in addition to what he came to meet. So the civil servants under these organizations, their salaries have to be catered for. In addition to these three organizations that I have mentioned, because the National Security Ministry was collapsed, now the National Security Council, or the National Security Secretariat, the Research Department, which is an arm of the Security and Intelligence Services of Ghana, the National Signals Bureau, and the National Intelligence Bureau, which used to be called the BNI, all now operate under the office of the president. So it is the salaries of these staff that are now being catered for under the office of the president. So when you see 2.7 billion, it is the salaries of these staff plus all the other agencies that form the office of government machinery that is reflected in that number.
Allocation to office of government machinery, compensation alone is 2.7 billion.
That means salary.
Yes. Meanwhile, they said President Akufo-Addo's government was bloated, hired so many people, was paying salaries, allowances, and all of that. Yet, compensation that was spent by President Akufo-Addo for 2024 was 327 million. So the government that you said was bloated, at the office of the president, how much they spent on compensation by President Akufo-Addo was 327 million. Now you come and say that you want to run a lean government. You are not increasing the staff at the office of the president, yet you are seeking to spend 2.7 billion on compensation.
The same space that Akufo-Addo spent 327.
Exactly.
They are spending 2.7 billion.
Yes, look at this.
Look at the percentage increase.
Look at this. Look at the budget. How much is going to Felix Ofosu-Kwakye?
For what?
Government communication. The government communication compensation alone is 8 million Ghana cedis. Just to Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. 8 million Ghana cedis.
No, I think it's to his ministry.
There's no ministry. I mean, he's a minister,
Yeah, he's a minister of state.
Minister of State.
Yes.
One person. And Shamim a Muslim.
No, there are others. The vice president's office is also under them.
I don't see any other person.
Oh, there are
in their
4.
communication. So there are 4 people who are spending 8 million. Meanwhile,
Is it per annum?
yes, per annum for 2025. But that is not enough. Again, CAPES for Felix Ofosu-Kwakye.
We need some RTIs to go to the office of the president.
CAPES for Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, government communication, is 70 million. So, in effect, just Ofosu-Kwakye's outfits, government communication outfits, they are being allocated 78 million Ghana cedis, one office.
You said 8 million. Why is it? Why did it come to
The 8 million is for goods and services. CAPEX is 70 million.
What is capex?
Capital expenditure.
When they have to buy something.
I don't know what he's going to do. He's just government communicator.
Or maybe he has to buy an OB van.
Okay.
He has to buy
But you
vans
see,
around the
ask,
country.
When President Akufo-Addo had the Ministry of Information, you can ask Fati Okojo Ponkroma how much was allocated to the Ministry of Information.
Which was a regular ministry.
Exactly, not even more than 10 million. But today you have one person heading government communication, and he's going to be given 8 million as for goods and services, 70 million for CAPEX. And look at this. We have research department.
But maybe they want to buy cars.
I'm coming. Research department at the office of the president, like Dr. Owusu-Mensah used to do. Research. Research department at the office of the president. Goods and services. President Mahama is seeking to give them 50 million cedis for goods and services at the research department of the president, and CAPES for the research department of the office of the president, 20 million cedis for just 1 year. It's bigger than 2 or 3 ministries combined together under Akufo-Addo's government. So this
clearly, with an election that was fully funded by government alone, the appropriation was 250 billion Ghana cedis. Here we are, NDC telling us that they want to cut waste, reduce, rationalize expenditure, and reduce the waste in the system. They are giving us an expenditure, an appropriation of 291 billion Ghana cedis. 291 billion Ghana cedis. No election. We are cutting down. So they say one thing, and the numbers in the budget speaks to something completely different. That also boils down to the credibility of the budget. Let me come to the uncapping that the minister spoke about. The expenditure measures of uncapping transfers to some statutory funds to enable them to fund other government programs. It's no brainer. We have done it before. And so it's just continuing with what we also did. Every
government is broke, but people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are 2 types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Today is a Friday, and today is the 14th of March, 2025. Thank God we're still alive and kicking. We're back here to join the nation's conversation on what's happening in our dear country, Ghana. My name is Aldo Moro, and it's always a pleasure to come your way. And it's also a pleasure knowing that you tune in to this station to watch Good Morning Ghana every day from Monday to Friday. I'll go straight ahead and look at the front pages of the newspapers. And as always, we will start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Daily Graphic. Yogonu takes over from Dampare as IGP. Auditor General's recoveries hit 31.5 million cedis. Money transferred to Consolidated Fund. Pastor Otabil urges strict law enforcement for national development. Motivate staff to deliver on mandates, GJA. President orders audit of SOEs. Exercise to block inefficiencies and deliver value. The Ghanaian Times. 2.6 million people to migrate south by 2050 if temperature trend continues, according to research. Minority urges IMF to scrutinize 2025 budget. Loss-making SOEs to be shut down, President warns. VIP pledges full implementation of National Education Forum recommendations. The Daily Guide. Ernest Thompson discharged Caleb Aflago, I believe, begs for mercy. 2025 budget, Finance Minister used voodoo numbers, minority. Stop Mahama from sacking IGP, Professor Ening, Imani to Supreme Court. 16 GIFEC staff lose jobs. The New Weekend Crusading Guide. 2025 budget statement, Finance Minister used cooked figures to inflate spending to 49.2 billion cedis, says minority. Baba Sam's lawyer Kwesi Finn meets his Golgotha, dragged to General Legal Counsel over repeated unprofessional conduct. Prophets would soon provide spiritual pregnancy, childbirth, delivery services, computer man. Professor Inin, Imani Ghana sue to restrain President Mahama from removing IGP, other security heads. 2.7 billion cedis Jubilee House budget for 2025 fishy. It must be scrutinized. Paul Chuma Berima. Electricity tariffs to be adjusted quarterly. Kojo Oponkroma. The Insight. Uncaptured potential revenue in the budget statement. The case of property taxes revenue. ASEP urges government to reassess its borrowing strategies to avoid economic setbacks. National Cathedral, NPP MP calls for investigations into $58 million whole project. Movements across the world call for end to all U.S. military exercise on the Korean Peninsula. The Herald. Mahama begins security overhaul with IGP Dampari's removal. General Legal Counsel caught up in strange ruling on a lawyer's qualification and alleged wrongful enrollment at Ghana School of Law. GBC refutes claims of Director General's expired tenure. SIC Insurance PLC pays over $1 million to insurance claims to VRA. 37 lorry station under siege from a land grabbers, commuters to be left stranded. The Ghanaian Publisher. History will remember Akufo-Addo, Amin Adam. 5.7% GDP growth not due to illegal mining, GSS. Mahama picks COP Yehonu as new IGP. GJ charges government to protect media practitioners. The Daily Statesman. APN, top reports partner to promote Africa's single market agenda. Electricity tariffs to be reviewed quarterly. Stop cooking economic figures, MPP cautions Finance Minister. Ghana losing cultural integrity among youth, chief warns. The Catholic Standard. Family is foundation of education. Government to ease economic burden on Ghanaians through tax cuts. Catholic Church holds second National Education Forum. And editorial, Ghana's path to economic independence starts now. The Custodian. Government to adjust electricity tariffs quarterly upon Chroma. NDC engages in statistical thievery. Minority exposes 2025 budget flaws. 2025 budget gives Sakawa jobs. Amin Adam. Presidency to blow 2.7 billion cedis on salaries. Gideon Boako. Ghanaian Times. 2.6 million people to migrate south by 2050 if temperature trends continues. Research. Minority urges IMF to scrutinize 2025 budget. Loss-making SOEs to be shut down. President wants. VIP pledges full implementation of National Education Forum recommendations. So that's it for the front page of the newspaper. Stay with us on Good Morning Ghana. When I come back, I'll be introducing my resource persons for the day. Stay with us, please.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate Toothpaste. I was made to be gentle on your gum but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky younger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcates. Happy smile.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bread you call mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That'll be the mattress where the bed for tonight.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all.
Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Cal Choco Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Cal Choco Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Cal Choco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Fire pomudi ni agobi Ghana funi aji if you say ya your local spices na ya fra bia ya sankofa natural spice
me de go me jollof mu me still wa hodoma emanate dance
Stanley, the barbecue the go on.
sankofa natural spices and one you use 100% natural said the happen
Adofo, mamu ye huge mistake. Sankofa natural spices. Didi.
FDA aji ejodi nkratu yatu.
Customer, I don't know who to say.
Malaria been actually me man no man still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah, sorry. What rest of so give us here and turn down.
What's over that song? But when you give us the and turn down.
Give us a bad mixture.
The patron and turn down.
Customer. Give us a turn down.
Onuya kayo oba wo fafuro nom de wo man bonu fo nom akwada wo nyimfie dumie no ono nso nom.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and Iricop brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafwajinkwa and the Iricop with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and Iricop organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
You're still live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television, and my name is Audu Moro. Remember that this show is also live on 94.1, so we have decided to give you an alternative, just in case you want to continue to follow and monitor the great discussions or the great conversations that takes place on this platform. So 94.1 is the dial. Please put it there whilst you are on the move. Now, Blue Jeans Energy Drink is proudly associated with the Good Morning Ghana show, and Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years, and we already know it. What it does for the body. It contains many vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and your energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. So Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been tested and it's been tried. We know it, and we can testify that it is indeed the best on the market. Blue Jeans Energy Drink is for bold and active women. It's in shops nationwide. For bulk purchases, please contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190, 0208 128 190, 055 001 000, 055 001 000. I'll take the numbers again. 0208 128 190 or 055 001 000. So my guests have joined me, and in fact, one of them is here with me whilst we wait for the other guests to join us shortly. So Edem Agbana is the MP for Ketu North, and he is here with us this morning. We're also expecting John Daku, who is a private legal practitioner and also the MP for Swame, to join us shortly on Good Morning Ghana. Edem, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on the show.
My brother, good morning.
It's always great to have you.
Yes, always great to have you. Good morning to you and to our cherished viewers across the world, especially to the good people of Ketu North, my people.
What does that mean?
I'm basically extending my greetings to them, to the people of Ketu North.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm doing in Ever.
All right.
I appreciate them so much for the support and the love that they continue to show me. A lot of things are going on in the constituency as we speak.
Okay.
Since I was elected, we've embarked on a number of projects. As I speak, we have an ongoing free eye screening and surgeries exercise going on. From Monday, we've had over 1,200 people benefiting from that project. Today, they are in the Kuli and the Georgia Enclave. Tomorrow it will continue till Saturday. And after that, next weekend, we'll have the free surgeries. I'm partnering with the Pole Eye Clinic in Georgia to have this thing done. We've launched a scholarship scheme where over 300 students have benefited. We are extending support to farmers, young entrepreneurs, artisans, and all of that. So it's been a good journey so far, and I couldn't have achieved all of this without the support of my chiefs and the people of Ketu North. And so, Moro, I'm just thanking them once again for the opportunity to be their servant and to represent them in the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. It's such an honor.
You seem to be enjoying your work as an MP very much.
You must love what you do, and I'm enjoying it. Yes, it comes with challenges. Yes, there are days that you ask yourself, why am I even doing this? Why do you have to sacrifice all your time, your energy? And you lose a greater part of you. You have less time for your family. You have less time for your personal career development. There are many times that I've had to sacrifice my education for this job. There are many times that sometimes you have an exams and it is clashing with some political activities that you must find a way of sacrificing that for the sake of the people. If not for politics, maybe, just maybe, I would have been done with my PhD thesis defense by now and all of that, and many others. There are times that you even have to sacrifice the whole course in the middle of it for the people. But we love what we are doing because I believe that becoming MP is not politics for me. It is ministry. It is a ministry for me to impact lives and to touch my people. And so I approach my work from that spiritual point of view, that is an assignment from God. So it is not politics for me at all. It is an opportunity for me to extend God's life to the people. Yes, it comes with pressure. Every day you receive calls. People want you to help them pay fees. People are in hospitals, they are in distress. Sometimes you ask yourself, is that supposed to be the work of the MP? No, that may not necessarily be your constitutional mandate. However, if people come to you, it means they see a certain light. They are burdened and they believe through you they can get some support. You can't do for everyone, yes, but the little you can do, we try our very best to do it for the people. So I love my work. I'm enjoying it, and I pray for divine guidance to do it in such a way that one day when you're no more, you look back at the journey and you tell yourself that I served God in my capacity as MP. For me, that is key. It's about service to God and to mankind. But you can't serve mankind if you're not serving God. And so, yes, I love my work and I'm passionate about the things that I do. On Monday, I will have an engagement in my constituency. Is what I call the MP's Quarterly Accountability Series. That I promised my people that when you vote for me, every 3 months, I will come back to you, brief you on what is going on in Parliament, discuss national issues with you, and so we'll go into the budget. What does the finance minister mean by Ejumara, the big push? What is the need for you in Ketu North? It is not only during the campaign season that as leaders we must engage our electorates. I see myself as their messenger. So on Monday, we'll be live from a key night market where the media in Ketu North and the stakeholders have the opportunity to ask me questions that in these 2 months that you've been in Parliament, what are some of the bills that have come before you? How does that impact our lives? What does the president mean by some of the directives that he has issued? What is your understanding of what is going on? What have you said in Parliament concerning us? How are you addressing these issues? These are the things you promised us. When should we be expecting it? When you take accountability to the people and you allow them to ask you questions and you are transparent with them, you are able to carry them along, because the power doesn't belong to us and it belongs to the people. We are only acting on their behalf. And so it's always important as a messenger to go back to the people and share with them whatever is going on, the journey. And so I'm passionate about Ketu North, and I thank them so much for the opportunity, and I will continue to serve them in the little way that I can. I believe that by the time my first term is over, they will see what really it means to be a representative of the people. So I will invite you. Maybe you should send your reps to Monday's program, and then we do this together.
Yeah. Let's see. Depending on how my schedule is, I may just pass by and see things for myself.
Yes.
Because I like to support worthy causes. So it's a worthy cause, so why not? I may be there personally to witness things for myself. So, Adam, this week was supposed to be the budget week. So the budget has been read, the media is talking about it, minorities held press conferences, and they've told us their position on the budget, etc., etc. And in fact, just yesterday, the minority held a news conference to officially state their position on the budget. And then just yesterday, we had the news broke. So let me put it this: the news broke about the termination of the appointment of the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, that George Dampari.
Yes.
Of course, prior to that, there were all kinds of speculations. I mean, rumors were rife. It was all over the place that Dampari was going to be sacked. But of course, as a media organization, we don't deal with rumors, we deal with facts. And so we saw the statement which was issued by Felix Ofosu-Kwakye about the development. Then it then brought to the fore once again, and perhaps in a sharper focus, this often talked about clash between limits of executive power, right? Or the limitations of executive power. Let me say limits of executive power as against the constitutional protection for our heads of security. It's been talked about time and time and again. Now, if you look at today's daily guide, the daily guide this morning reports Jibril Abdul Razak is reporting that Imani Center for Policy and Education Professor Kwesi Enin have filed an application at the Supreme Court seeking to restrain President John Mahama from terminating the appointment of the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufo-Dampari, and other heads of the uniformed security services. The application is asking the Apex Court to restrain the president or his agents and assigns from sacking any of the heads of the uniformed security services pending the determination of a suit challenging the age-old phenomenon of these appointees losing their jobs as a result of a change in government. The application had filed a suit before the court in March last year in which they questioned the president's powers to terminate the appointment of the Chief Fire Officer of the Ghana Fire Service, Inspector General of Police, Director General of Prison Service and Controller General of Immigration Service. They argue that by the Constitution of Ghana, the President has no authority to terminate the appointment or remove from office a person occupying the office of these security agencies unless only upon a proven stated misconduct or misbehavior. Now, as established against these office holders, it is their case that the President can only terminate the appointment on grounds of incapacity to perform the functions of the office by reason of infirmity of mind or body or death or retirement or upon resignation by the office holder. Now, the Supreme Court has set May 7, 2025 to deliver its judgment on the suit filed by the plaintiffs, as the Attorney General, who is the defendant in the suit, has filed all necessary documents. But the plaintiffs have filed an application to restrain the President from sacking the concerned individuals on grounds that they have picked evidence of their imminent removal. They are asking the court for an order of interlocutory injunction restraining the President, that's the defendant, respondent, its principals, including the President Mahama, from sacking them from their respective positions as heads of Ghana Prison Service, the Ghana Immigration Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and Ghana Police Service, pending the final determination of their suits. Their argument is that the defendant suffers no injury should application be granted, especially since the decision is in no way far to be delivered, and more so since in the event plaintiffs do not emerge victorious in the final decision, the executive will not be proscribed in exercising the rights of removal in any of these heads the application adds. Adam.
Yes.
Do you know why the President decided to sack George Akufo-Dampare?
Well,
before we look at the case in court.
Yeah, let me first and foremost congratulate the new IGP for his elevation to such a status. It's very important to appreciate that when you are in a particular institution or service, to rise through the ranks and become the #1 gentleman, or to be the leader in that service, a service or a force, an institution as important as the police service, is no mean an achievement. And so let me congratulate the new IGP and also use the opportunity to thank the former IGP, George Dampare, Dr. George Dampare, for his service to this country. He has also played his role, and it is the end of the road in that position for him. And so we appreciate his work. He also came to replace somebody, and the same constitution that was used in sacking or removing the person he came to replace is the same constitution that President Mahama has used. And in fact, when you go to Article 202 of our constitution, it is very, very explicit, and there is no need to even have any qualms or conflict or debate over this issue.
Okay. Because
Article 202 of our constitution, in fact, Chapter 15 of our constitution is solely dedicated to the police service. And Article 202(1) says, the Inspector General of Police shall be appointed by the President acting in consultation with the Council of State. 202(2), the Inspector General of Police shall be the head of the police service and shall, subject to the provisions of this article and to the control and direction of the Police Council, be responsible for the operational control and the administration of the police service. How the appointment is done is defined. Their role or responsibilities also clearly defined in this constitution. President Mahama only acted within the power granted him by the Constitution of the Republic. But this morning, I don't want to even focus on the legal aspects of this conversation, because there's a matter in court and you don't want to delve into it and start speaking law. But I want us to focus also on the moral aspect of it. But when President Mahama took the oath of office. He took the oath of office and promised to keep Ghana safe. He took the oath of office and promised to ensure that he works in the interest of this republic. It is important for all of us to allow him to decide the set of people or the group of people, the team he intends to work with to achieve that ultimate aim of keeping this country safe and achieving our economic goals. And that is why when President Mahama was president, he made an appointment of IGP. Between 2013 and 2016, we had an IGP. President Akufo-Addo came, sacked that IGP, and appointed another person. I don't know where this difficulty all of a sudden is coming from, where as if President Mahama's appointment or dismissal or replacement of IGP Dr. George Dampare is a novelty. There's nothing novel. Since 1992, successive governments have always had the appointment of IGPs done, and not just the IGP, but all the security heads. Look, we are talking of a position that is very sensitive, like the IGP's position. And it is important and sensitive because these heads are managing, they are the core of the management of our national security. So it is important for the president to be allowed to appoint and work with whoever he is comfortable to work with. So where is this argument of the president is flouting? Which constitutional order or provision is the president breaching with this appointment when it is clear in the Constitution that under Article 202, the power to appoint the IGP or the head of the police service rests clearly with the president? And so we should allow President Mahama to do his work. Again, outside the issues of legalities, and I've heard people make the argument that Dr. George Dampare did well and or was doing well, performing well, and so he should be allowed to stay on until such a time that he retires. Granted that the argument about competence or his performance, granted, is anything to go by. Are we saying that the new person that has been appointed doesn't have the capacity or doesn't meet the requirements or eligibility to become IGP?
Before we get to the issue about competence, yes, capacity, ability, let's exhaust the issue about the illegalities. Okay, yes. I mean, the matter is in court, and I agree with you that we don't want to be seen to be sub judice because the matter is still in court. But if you look at the Imani suit that he has filed in court, it argues that by the Constitution of Ghana, the president has no authority to terminate the appointment or remove from office a person occupying the office of these security agencies unless only upon proven stated misconduct or misbehavior established against these office holders. So that's where they are coming from.
Which provision of the Constitution are they quoting?
Well, Which
provision? Because when you read the Constitution,
I want to, yes, also because you have the.
I have a copy of the Constitution here, and I'm quoting Article 202.
Right.
And Article 202 here does not give any fixed tenor.
Okay. So
you see the framers of the Constitution.
So they're using Articles 200, 202.
When you check Article 200 what?
So Article 2, so there's 200, there's 2021. I'm looking at the suit. 2021.
The 2021 is the provision that rather gives the president
the power to
appoint the IGP.
So how about 202, 2022?
2022 just gives the roles or defines the responsibilities.
Great, we're making progress.
Yes.
2023.
Subject to the provisions of this Constitution,
yes,
the power to appoint persons,
yes,
or to hold or to act in an office in the police service shall vest in the president.
205.
The president may, no,
205. So 205, yes.
Article 205.
Yes.
Article 205 talks about the prison service. That there shall be a prison service of Ghana. The prison service shall be equipped and maintained to perform its traditional role efficiently.
And I'm doing this because these are the articles they've cited in the suit.
So all
I want
the
us to walk
articles,
through so that we're clear.
Yes.
What the articles mean.
So all the articles that they have cited.
Good. So let's exhaust. We have two more. So there's 2071 and 2072.
Article 2071.
Yes. 1,
says
2, and 3.
The 207 says the Director General of the Prison Service shall be appointed by the President, acting in consultation with the Council of State.
Okay.
And so all these articles rather gives the mandate to the President to appoint his heads of security agencies. Look, the framers of the Constitution had a reason why in 1992, in this Constitution, the power to appoint heads of the security agencies was vested in the President. There's a reason why the framers of the Constitution decided to do so, because we have a checkered history of democracy marked by several terminations or coup d'etats or military takeovers. Now, when you are president and the power to maintain law and order, security, ensure that the country is safe, rests with you, you take decisions that aligns with your vision for the security service. So President Mahama has decided that for the Ghana Police Service, it is COP Christian Tete Yohunu that he believes can best work with him to ensure the effectiveness of the police service. And the Constitution clearly has given him that mandate.
Right.
And so I do not think that we have any difficulty about it, because where the Constitution thinks that individuals must be subjected to fixed tenure or fixed terms, the Constitution says so. That is why, as Member of Parliament, I know I have a term of 4 years. So by your 4th year, you will go back to your people for re-election, or you decide not to contest again. But for the police service, nowhere in the Constitution is it stated that until you retire, the President cannot appoint another person. There's nowhere in the Constitution where it is stated that until the President finds you incapacitated, you must continue acting as IGP. Tomorrow, President Mahama yesterday appointed COP Yohunu. Tomorrow, at his discretion, he can decide to appoint a new IGP. And the law permits him to do the same.
Right.
So, let us allow the President to do his work, because there is nothing unconstitutional about what he has done.
Okay.
If the case is that the argument is that we have gotten to a point where we must allow the President, or we must allow IGPs to stay on until their tenure or they retire, there is an ongoing conversation or dialogue on constitutional review. I will urge Imani and all those who think that President should not change the IGP to submit papers to the Constitutional Review Committee.
Okay.
But for now, President Mahama is right in making a decision as to who becomes his IGP, because the Constitution gives him the power to do so. But again, Moro, I was making a point about
capacity and ability to do the job.
Who defines who an effective IGP is? What is the metric that you are doing? Is it that when the IGP is down to earth and will get down from his car to go and buy what we locally call buffaloes, but I'm told in English it's supposed to be Berfloth or something like that. Is it when the IGP is greeting people on the street, hugging people, or dancing at a festival? Is that what is effectiveness? What is the metric? I'm only asking that why are we creating an impression as though the police service has become so efficient that there are no challenges? But you see, if you want to know the issues, the challenges in the service, have you monitored the reactions of police officers after the news of the dismissal of George Dampare? I have so much respect for Dr. George Dampare, but my question is, what is the metric in determining who an effective or efficient IGP is? When you come to Ketu North, my divisional command, with all the police stations that we have, some of them, when you look at the conditions, look at the fact that for a big place like my place, common vehicle, pickup, for the police service to do their work effectively, they are not getting. So what is the metric? I want to understand when people say he is effective, he is doing well, or he is such an efficient IGP that which will allow him to stay. What is the metric? Why? What has it done about the killings of Ghanaians during the elections? What has it done about issues of bribery and corruption within the service? That today, when you interview or you sample 10 Ghanaians, 8 or 9 out of the 10 will tell you that the police service is the most corrupt institution in this country. What has the immediate past IGP done about the welfare of police officers? There are many police officers whose conditions of service very, very traumatizing, very terrible. And so I want to know from those who think that Dr. George Dampare is a good man and must not be replaced, that what is your metric? What are you using to measure his effectiveness? I just want to know. Because yes, I have respect for him as a person. I have so much respect for Dr. George Dampare, but my respect for him cannot be interpreted to mean he is an effective or efficient IGP. Because we clearly have not seen the metrics. We clearly cannot tell what are the indicators of determining who an effective IGP is. So the president, acting within the powers conferred on him by the Constitution, has decided that COP Yohunu should be the next IGP, and we must respect that and work with him to achieve his security goals.
But Adam, the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, campaigned on the message of resetting Ghana. Now, the general understanding, and I stand to be corrected, but the general understanding of resetting Ghana is that we do not intend to repeat. So we intend to do things differently as a government. Now, if the conversation which has happened in the past for a very long time, we've talked about the fact that we ought to do something about the framework that appoints heads of security services like Chief of Defense Staff, IGP, heads of the fire service, and so on and so forth. And that we ought to be able to find a way of guaranteeing or safeguarding their independence by virtue of the kind of jobs that they do. And its attendant consequences when, so it sometimes depends on who does what. You know, the IGP is able to move. Don't you think that perhaps, as president who wants to leave a legacy, he probably should have decided that, look, once I really don't have any compelling reason to remove this IGP, maybe let him just stay and do his job. I mean, unless, of course, I have some very, very strong reservations about his work, then I can let him go. But before you do that, let me say that John Darko is with us here. He's a member of parliament for Swami. John, sorry, it's good to see you. Good morning. See you, how are you?
I'm doing terrific.
Yeah. This, I think, your second time on the show, isn't it?
Yes, my second time.
Yeah. Everything fine?
We are managing under very difficult conditions from my brother's government.
Oh, you're already feeling it? Oh, you're already feeling the deportees?
Well, of course.
Oh, then you have to brace yourself up because
it's going to be tough for us in this country.
You have some 20 more years to remain in opposition.
Oh, that's interesting. You know, I'm happy you didn't say forever. At least 20 years.
You have some 20 more years.
All right, so you campaign on reset. So why change it?
No, but resetting Ghana agenda does not mean that when the president has a reason,
which is
to believe that COP Yohunu is the best person that serves his interest or aligns with his vision for the police service, he shouldn't appoint him. Again, I'm asking that why is the impression being created that Dr. George Akufo-Dampare is untouchable? And I'm asking that all my friends in the NPP, and indeed those who are making the argument that he should be allowed to stay on, none has been able to provide any indicators for us to measure that he has been so effective, for which reason, or he has undertaken such pragmatic reforms within the service, for which reason he should be allowed to stay. It is all about he's a good man. And I'm saying that you don't measure the effectiveness of IGP with populist moves. And I'm getting sick with this argument of he's a good man. I keep telling you that. I have respect for him. And I'm not even happy having this conversation and trying to delve into, but what is the metric? How are we measuring his effectiveness?
Okay.
Look, professionalism in the police service under Dampare has been thrown to the dogs. There are many instances where we encounter policemen and women, and you can see clearly that the so-called perception of effectiveness is only tied to the IGP's populist moves of he himself buying kinky and fish by the road or other things. It is never about any reforms within the police service.
So you are not convinced that...
I'm not convinced that
Dampare has done a good job.
No, I didn't say that. Okay. I'm not convinced that Dr. George Akufo-Dampare has been so effective, so transformational in his work, such that he could not be changed.
Okay.
Again, President Mahama has the ultimate responsibility when he took the oath of office to keep this country safe. So if acting in consultation with the police council, he decides to appoint COP Yohunu, it tells me, I am convinced that he believes COP Yohunu will perform better than the person he is replacing.
Okay, that's fine. I guess that you've made your points. And before I bring in John Darko, let me read what Felix Ofosu-Kwakye issued, a statement Felix Ofosu-Kwakye put out. That sort of, ended the whole rumor about the fate of George Akufo-Dampare. So I'm sure that we would put it up on the screen shortly, but I have a copy here, so let me just read it whilst we put it up on the screen. So, Presidency Communications, it says President Mahama appoints COP Yohunu as Inspector General of Police. President John Dramani Mahama has, in accordance with Article 91 and 202 of the 1992 Constitution and in consultation with the Council of State, appointed Commissioner of Police Christian Tete Yohunu as the Inspector General of Police. He replaces COP Dr. George Akufo-Dampare. COP Yohunu brings 40 years of experience to the position of IGP and is expected to oversee the modernization and transformation of the Ghana Police Service. Signed, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, MP and spokesperson to the President and Minister, Government Communications. John, where do you stand on this?
Well, okay.
Good move, bad move, or you are indifferent?
Thank you for the opportunity. Regards to all your cherished viewers. Generally, the president, has the power, in most cases, to appoint people he will work with. but we are living in a constitutional democracy, and the principle of constitutionalism is to restrain, as it were, the exercise of governmental powers for the benefit of the people. And so the Constitution is a framework that gives the president powers, but also takes some of the powers or restrains the exercise of the powers so that the individual will be liberated. So if you look at Article 202, as it's been stated from the presidential communication, yes, the president has the power to appoint IGP in consultation with the Council of State. But if you look at the same constitution under Chapter 14, which lists public service, and the public service includes the police service, under Article 91 B, 191B, Article 191B, 191B, okay. A member of the public service shall not be dismissed or removed from office or reduced in rank or otherwise punished without just cause. And so if the president in exercise of his powers wants to remove the IGP, generally one would have expected that it would be for a just cause, because clearly that is what the constitutional imperative demands, But if you look at the communication that came out, it never gave any such reason. But I can see what my brother Adam is trying to do. He's trying to give us the reasons which inform the president, and being a member of the NDC, a member of Parliament, I'm sure he has enough information. So he's able to tell us, for instance, that the Dam Paris era, at the time, professionalism was thrown to the dogs, to quote him. He is saying that Akufo Dampare was a populist. So he is telling the people of Ghana that the IGP was such a populist person. There was no professionalism because under his reign, professionalism was thrown to the dogs.
Sorry, John. I need to clarify something. I think it's important because he was talking to the public, but of course I was here. I heard him. He did not tell us that the reasons he's adducing.
Let me make my point.
No, just a second.
But we're here.
I'll do same. I'll do same for you, because my job is to make sure that the records are set straight.
Okay.
He was.
My brother said, and I'm surprised with the kind of posturing the NDC have started taking, that I am sick and tired. And he said it, that he's sick and tired.
Yes.
People are asking for questions.
No, he said it was
sick and tired.
He said it was
asking questions why the IGP was removed.
He said
this is what this so-called resetting is about.
John,
when we ask questions, you are sick and tired.
Yeah, John. He said it was his personal view, because I asked him. No, listen. I asked him.
But you see, I premised my submission by saying that my brother is an NDC.
Okay.
He is a member of Parliament.
True.
Good one as that. He's my very good friend.
Okay.
They are in the thick of affairs.
Okay.
Unless there's another reason the president or the presidency is going to give to us, I am inclined to go by what he's saying.
Okay, that's fine.
That under Akufo Dampare's reign, professionalism was thrown to the dogs. That is why he's been removed. That is the statement NDC is saying. Metro, here after here, published that from my brother Agbana.
I hope you're not suggesting this is the official position of the government or the party. I hope you're not suggesting so. That's my only concern.
So I'm sure he'll be back to respond to that. But in his view, okay, let me just grant him that.
Yes.
I'll grant you that in your view, under Dampare's reign, there was so much populism, and that Dampare's acts were full of populist acts. Okay, and that he said also that there were no reforms under Dampare's reign. I mean, look, I am no fan of any individual police officer. I'm no fan of Dampare nor Yohonu. What I want is for the work to be done. Dan Pare's work will be judged by the people of Ghana. Dan Pare's work will be properly judged by those who failed some form of safety in the country. Dan Pare's reign will be judged by all of us, including you, Mr. Moderator. You know what the man has done. The man is not 60 years. They haven't given any reason for his removal. And you know the sad thing? This is a government that, before it was formed, the NDC political party felt that if a matter is in the Supreme Court, it should be treated as sacrosanct, even in Parliament. Okay, when it came to the issue of dismissal, when the leader of our party in Parliament, Osahene Afenyomarkin, tried to raise the issue of dismissal of the hundreds of thousands of workers by the Chief of Staff, what did the First Deputy Speaker say? He ruled that once the matter is in the Supreme Court, Parliament could not go in and that we couldn't even discuss it in Parliament. That was the ruling of an NDC First Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Now the same NDC, when a matter is in the Supreme Court and ruling is supposed to be given, in fact judgment is supposed to be given in May, when an application for injunction has been filed, you violate all that and go ahead and appoint somebody into an office which is being contested. You violate the Supreme Court, you violate the Constitution, you think that you are all in all, and the argument is that the people of Ghana have given them overwhelming majority, and so they can do anything. John Mahama has become an emperor. Emperor John Mahama. Disregard anything, even from the Supreme Court. And that is what we are witnessing. I am very sad that our president couldn't just wait for 2 months for the Supreme Court to make his decision before he went ahead to make this appointment. For me, I think that he's, if you look at the release and the article, the article of 1913, Mr. President is actually, without giving us this valid reason, without just cause, is acting in excess of his jurisdiction.
John, you have just one question before you come in. John, I'm sure you have a police protection. You have a police protection.
Well, I'm entitled to it, but I haven't even taken it.
You haven't taken it.
They may have taken.
Okay, so
I drive alone. I work alone.
If you intend to take,
but you don't feel safe at the NDC.
I don't have police protection.
If you intend to
we are entitled to, but no one in the 9th Parliament currently.
Yes. Yeah, John. But if you intend to take up, that offer,
right?
If you intend to take up that offer, would you wish that you are allowed to, for instance, give an opinion or to suggest or to recommend somebody you'd want to protect you, or you'd say you don't mind?
Yes,
I mean, whoever is giving you, you don't care, you don't find, you don't mind.
People of Ghana. He's not supposed to protect the president. His first duty is to protect the people of Ghana. Let's make it clear. He's not. I'm not sure the present argument is that he's looking for an IGP that will protect him. I mean, that would be another reason we want to scrutinize. Okay. That he's appointing a police officer who can protect him. So it's about him, not about the people of Ghana.
I think the principle behind the question I'm asking is, you don't think the president deserves the right to determine who he's comfortable working with?
Okay, you see, that is a very important question.
Okay.
If the framers of our Constitution wanted that to be done, they would have stated so clearly. So when it comes to governance, it's not so much about what you want. It is about what the law says, about what the Constitution says. So for instance, if the Constitution wanted a situation where the president will appoint, let's say, Supreme Court judges he is comfortable with that parliamentary approval, the Constitution would have stated so, that the president will appoint members of the Supreme Court without parliamentary advice and consent requirements. But the Constitution didn't do that. The Constitution wanted a situation where the legislature would scrutinize the people who want to send to the Supreme Court. So there is that checks and balances. So the Constitution said, if you want to remove people in the public service, and you see, if an ordinary police officer is supposed to get this requirement, that he's supposed to, if you want to remove him, you're supposed to ensure that you're doing that for a just cause, how much more the IGP? How much more the IGP? So the Constitution did not anticipate a situation where every president will come and, for his own safety, remove security officers. It has to be for a just cause, and it's provided for under the Constitution. What is the cause? Unless, I mean, you've told me not to take Edem's opinion because that is not present, is not the official position. Then we would like to know why you are doing that, because you see, that's what I'm saying. The principle of constitutionalism, ask any lawyer, is that you give the president power, but you also try to restrain the exercise of that power to create a balance. You know, the reason for all of that is for the protection of the individual. And so the laws are not created for the benefit of the president. It's created for the benefit of the people on which, I mean, he presides.
Boro. Okay. Just a quick one. Let me begin by stating that I think that my colleague John Darko is trying to set his own questions and provide answers. Maybe because he was late, he did not follow my line of arguments on this. I have said that yes, the president has not provided reasons why he is appointing COP Yohuno. But those who are making an argument for Dr. Dampari to stay make the argument that he is a good man. And I am questioning that what makes him the good man and who defines him as a good man? Is it when, as IGP, you dance at a funeral or at a festival with your police officers that makes you a good man? Is it when, as IGP, you step out of your car to buy kenke and fish by the roadside that makes you an effective IGP?
But I'm not cutting.
Is it when? No, I allowed it. So I'll come there. I'll come for the reason.
For a just cause.
Is that what makes you an effective IGP? I just want to know from those people. But moving on, I am surprised that John has taken this position, asking for the president to provide reasons or justification. I have here in my hand a letter signed by Eugene Ahin, Director of Communications, Office of the President, in under President Akufo-Addo, 21st July 2021, for immediate release. This is the letter, and the heading: President Akufo-Addo appoints COP George Akufo Dampari as acting IGP, and Deputy Director General Isaac Kofi Ejiri as acting Director General of the Prison Service. First paragraph: the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has directed the Inspector General of Police, Mr. James Opon Buenua, to embark on terminal leave with effect from Sunday, 1st August 2021, pending his retirement from the police service on Thursday, 7th October 2021. That is for the IGP.
And let's interrogate it. This was he was supposed to go for a terminal leave. No, but I'm saying that.
So allow me to
look at 1913.
John,
if you look at 1913.
John, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
And removal from office.
John, I am getting there. No, John, I'm getting there.
Please allow him to
allow me to get there. Allow me to get there.
Go ahead.
You want us to talk law, okay? This you cited Article 1912, which says that 191B, a member of the public services shall not be dismissed or removed from office or reduced in rank or otherwise punished without just cause. Was the direction or the instruction to let Opon Buenua proceed on leave?
Opon Buenua, you mean?
Opon Buenua, I don't know how to put it.
Yes.
That directive for President Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
Is that in line with this constitution? The point must be made that the constitution gives the President of the Republic the power to appoint the Inspector General of Police. And so if you, John Darko, you become the Inspector General of Police, and the President of the day decides that in line with my vision for the police service and to ensure the safety and security of Ghanaians, I think that Moro will better serve as the IGP, and he appoints Moro as the IGP. He has not removed you from the police service. Neither has he removed or reduced your rank. Because the position of IGP technically is not a rank, it is a position within the service. You understand? And so it is very basic. If today, as a member of parliament, the president cannot, or my party chairman cannot remove me as a member of parliament, but if, as say majority leader, the party decides that in the interest of our caucus, we want to make another person the majority leader, as we saw in the 8th parliament with those changes, it doesn't mean that those who were in leadership and were removed have been removed from parliament. The position of IGP is a privilege which you were appointed to by the president. And for that, at any point in time, in exercise of the president's constitutional mandate, you can be removed from that privilege or that position. But the president, in the letter appointing COP Yohunu, did not anywhere state that Dr. George Dampari has been sacked from the police service. Did not state that Dr. George Dampari's rank as COP before he became IGP has been reduced as punishment. So where is this argument? It's a privilege.
Let's just read the second paragraph. It says he replaces Dr. George Akufu Dampari
as IGP.
He's been removed
from the police service. No. I mean, how can you make that argument that? I mean, sorry to say, but it sounds ridiculous to make the argument that if the letter says Yohunu replaces Dr. Dampari as IGP, it means that he has been removed from the police service. He has not. Until he retires. No, but you don't even expect the letter to give you all of those all those explanations. But why? You can check. He has not been removed from the police service. It's a privilege. And even he, Dr. Dampari himself, when he was appointed, he proceeded to make changes to the police leadership. There were people that were directors of IT, director of operations, and many others. He replaced them. It doesn't mean he has removed their rank. It is the privilege to serve in that position that was taken away from him. And so legally, the president has not erred, or the president has not acted or done anything that is unconstitutional. So your interpretation of Article 191B is very problematic. And I think you should take a look at it again. You asked a very important question about police protection. As part of our entitlement in Parliament, as part of our privileges, we are entitled to a police guard. A police guard. And all of us, as members of Parliament, have the power to decide who should be that police guard. So it is not the police protection unit, the PPU in Parliament, that decides that this officer of ours should become Adam's bodyguard. We were given forms where you request. So you can request a police officer as long as the person is in the service.
You mean of your choice?
Of your choice. So I can request that.
Okay.
I can request that my sister, who is a police officer in Bolga today, should become a police guard. Okay. And so I am just to request for her to be brought to me.
And it's well within your right.
It is. That is. In fact, that is the principle.
Okay.
And so all of us have forms. I was given my forms about 2 months ago. Personally, I tell my friends, and my friends know that you know me, that I'm a very simple guy. I said, no, I don't want a police guard. But that is what, because I have become a property of the state. And so the state feels that in order to protect me, they must give me a police guard. But the choice as to who protects me is mine to make. So the president is well within his rights to decide who should be his IGP. It doesn't mean the IGP is the one providing protection to the president as an individual. But the president as John Dramani Mahama, president as Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when he was president as Professor Mills of blessed memory, they do not represent their individual interests any longer. They represent the state. That is why even when they have programs or they are to attend, let me put this in a very simplistic way, family meetings, the state will provide enough security because the person has become of national interest or a public asset or a national asset. And so we are to choose who our police guards will be in parliament. Even ministers of state who are entitled to, they decide who should be their guard, because you must be comfortable. Look, many of the
But he raises the counter argument that the IGP is not the personal bodyguard
so
of the president.
That is what
so
I'm explaining to you. That's what I'm explaining to you. That is why the framers of the Constitution gave the power to appoint the IGP to the president, because the president, it is no more about, sorry to put it this way, John Dramani Mahama as an individual. The president is an embodiment of our nation. He carries the aspirations.
Collective, you mean?
Collective, our collective interests.
Yeah.
He carries the aspirations and the hopes of the Ghanaian people. And so, President Mahama today cannot on his own decide that he loves to ride bicycles, and so he can just jump on his bicycle and be riding through town. Why would the state limit him? Because, God forbid, but if anything happens to the president of the land, it affects the entire nation. And so, it is not about President Mahama as an individual. It is about the fact that he is carrying with him the responsibility to ensure the safety of every Ghanaian. So he decides who should lead the police service. And I tell you, even though COP Yohunu has been in the police service for so many decades now, as he has become IGP, the next thing you will see is that he will also decide who should be his director for operations, his director of why? Because when you are in leadership, when you hold such a sensitive position, you want to be in command over the people you are working with. And let me say this just briefly. Look, when you study most of the military takeovers or coups that have happened in Africa and elsewhere, it usually happens or starts from people who are close to the presidents.
Okay.
Why? Because their positions are very key. And that is why the Constitution did not say when you appoint an IGP, let him come before Parliament for Parliament to vet him.
Okay.
And that's why the Constitution did not give Parliament the right to approve or disapprove the president's nominee for IGP, but gave the same Parliament the power to approve or disapprove president's nominee for the Supreme Court. Gave Parliament the power to approve the president's nominee for his ministers or to disapprove. But for IGP, but for head of the security agencies, the power solely lies with the president, acting in consultation with the various security councils. And so let us allow President Mahama to
John, I know you have a lot to say, but just a second. John, you have a lot to say. I know you have a lot to say, but let me just remind our viewers that you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro, and I'm here with John Darkun, who is the MP for Swami, and also the Ketu North MP is here, that's Mr. Edem Agbana. We are having a conversation on the back of the dismissal of the IGP, that's George Akufo Dampari, and what it means for constitutional governance. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yes, the people's choice. The police cannot do without it. Hey, congratulations, congratulations. 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 Yes, this is a new Inspector General of Police. The people try, the police people try. The pen and the pen has spoken. The master of operations, master of police intelligence. Hey, don't talk with this one. The people's choice. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yes.
anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Machasi.
That's a cycle.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Jidisa, we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Semikai. Cal 360 toothpaste.
Right here, Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa. You know saying? Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will so feeling when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don't some slippers then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That'll be the mattress where the jet put.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all.
Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Fire pomudi ni agobi Ghana fueni age if you say ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ya sanko for natural spice
Me de go me jollof mu me misti wa hoduma emanate dance
Stanley, the barbecue the go on.
sanko for natural spices and one you use 100% natural said the happen
Adofo mamu huge mistake sanko for natural spices the
FDA ejodi nkratu yatu.
You're the answer to my prayers. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know. Tonight.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafuajinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend, and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by Cocobot, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
You're still live in Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moro. I'm here with John Darko, who is the MP for Swami, and also the Ketu North MP, the man Edem Ada Agbana. Both of them, as you can see on the screens, are already seated here. And we are having a conversation about the sacking or the termination of the contract of the IGP, Inspector General of Police. That's the George Ekufu Dampari. John, you were just about to submit on the matter when I asked that we take a breather. What was it that you wanted to say?
No, so just a quick one.
Okay.
So we can move on. My point was to the effect that my brother Edem says that the IGP hasn't been replaced, more or less.
Okay.
And I was trying to refer to the presidential communication that says that he's been replaced with Akufu Dampare.
No, I said, I'm saying that he being replaced doesn't mean he has been sacked from the police.
Okay,
that's the point.
Okay, so the point, the Article 191 B, okay, that I refer to clearly talks about dismissal, removal, or reducing rank. And look, can we have 2 IGPs in the country? At any point in time, there will be 1 IGP. And so if you take him off as an IGP, okay, it means that even in the worst case scenario, you have reduced his rank. And so if you want to do that by 191B, you have to do that for a just cause. And that's the point we are making, that if you're able to give us a just cause, why you think that his rank should be reduced, why you want to remove him completely from the police service, then you clearly you need to give us a just cause. And so far, the point is that from the presidential communication, we haven't seen anything. If you look at
I want to understand something, John.
76.
I want to understand something, yes. John. Are you suggesting that the fact that he's been replaced means that he doesn't have any option than to resign from the Ghana Police Service, or it means to you, per your understanding of the law, means that he's been sacked from the Ghana Police Service?
As it stands now, he cannot be the IGP any longer. Have you seen a former IGP in the police service before?
Okay, so you're saying that...
I mean, let's face the reality. Have you seen a former IGP?
But the fact that we've never seen a former IGP in the Ghana Police Service
serving in the police service
does not mean...
Effectively, you are asking the person to go home.
Really?
Yes. Effectively, that is happening. So you cannot say that he's removed as an IGP and he is still there working as what?
If he decides to stay, who would stop it?
Well, they say in what capacity?
Well, you know...
He
goes back to his former position
and
before he became an IGP.
Then you are talking about the 191B reduction in rank without a just cause. So however you slice it, if you don't give a just cause for removing a public officer, you're in breach of the Constitution. And that's the point we are making. The President of the Republic, His Excellency, without giving us a just cause for removal of the IGP, we believe he's violated this sacred constitution of ours.
No, let's not get there.
All right.
It's not violated any law, and that has been the standard. Even President Akufo-Addo, I just read his letter to you. He never gave a reason why.
So why couldn't the president wait for the Supreme Court to make determination on this?
Which determination?
Yes, because the matter is in court. The matter is in the Supreme Court. Why couldn't the president wait? What the president is doing is not just
you see, you want to set a precedent. You want to set a precedent
in the Supreme Court.
Do you
because
know
you have the matter in the Supreme Court, awaiting a judgment in 2 months, and the president feels that I don't give a hoot about our Supreme Court, the highest office of the land, and then I'll go ahead and do what I please.
Don't do that.
Is that what we voted for? Is that the recent Ghanaian voted for?
John, for 8 years, under the NPP, we saw.
So now you are talking about.
No, listen, you made your point. Allow me to make mine.
You are making progress.
No, I am telling you that for 8 years under the NPP, we saw complete disregard for the Constitution. We saw how your party bastardized the Supreme Court and the judiciary to the extent that 8 out of 10 Ghanaians concluded that the judiciary became a manipulative tool in the hands of the president. But in this case, we are referring to a president who is acting within this constitution.
But the 191B,
and I am telling you that your interpretation of 191B is very problematic. It is problematic because the position of IGP is not a rank that by service to the police you earn just by your service. There are people who are more experienced than Dr. Jordan Parry. There were people senior to him. But it is a privilege. No. There is a reason why in the Constitution. I'm interpreting the Constitution for you. Moro, there's a reason why in the Constitution, if you want to become a police constable, or before you become a COP, it is not the president that appoints you to the rank of COP. It is a rank you earn within the service. But the position of who has the service, the IGP, is a privilege bestowed upon you by the president. So you cannot add that to the ranks and say, when you are removed from the office, you become. Look at the ranks.
It lists IGP. It lists IGP.
No.
It is here. You were informed when you passed it.
What point are you trying to make? Because I'm not too sure.
Listen.
What's your point, John?
The point he's trying to make is that he is saying.
You won't make my point for me.
Okay, so you make it again. And make it again. Because for me, sorry to say, but it's a ridiculous point.
If you remove the IGP,
yes.
Okay, effectively what you've done is that if he's not been asked to leave, and now you remove him as an IGP, okay, you have reduced his rank.
Yes.
And now he has to come back to COP if he wants to stay in the service and work.
Yes.
And I'm saying that if you want to do that, give a just cause under 191. The 191B. And that is what Adam says he doesn't feel that the president.
But what there was something you're referring to.
No, CI 76.
Oh, the CI 76.
That's the police regulations.
So let's go to the police regulation. Lawyer, you are a lawyer. Let's go to
it lists the ranks. It's here.
When you see,
it lists the ranks.
Listen. Under the schedule,
yes.
This what you have seen,
yes,
is more or less the organogram,
okay,
of the police service.
So it's more ceremonial.
It's not even an issue of ceremonial. It's an issue of organogram. Do you know?
Yes.
Do you know that Moro, in a service,
yes,
there may be people senior to you, there may be people even with higher ranks than you, but you can be appointed to head that organization.
Automatically, you then end the title of an IGP.
So you become the IGP
within the context of the police service.
So Inspector General of Police.
Yes.
So this is the distinction of all the ranks.
You don't have my eyes.
Listen, with all the ranks that you are talking about, from Assistant Superintendent of Police to Deputy Superintendent, Superintendent of Police, Chief Superintendent, Assistant Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Commissioner of Police. Then you have Deputy Inspector General of Police and IGP. No. From the assistant all the way to the commissioner. How is it end? Is it by appointment by the president? No. So these are the ranks within the service that you earn either by education or by your long years of service. So I have a very good friend in the military, okay? And she is a lieutenant colonel. And I was asking her to explain to me how the ranks work. And she tells me, I was captain about 10 years ago. You have to take these exams. When you pass the exams, you get promoted and you do that. But none of these ranks or the IGP, none of the people, okay, you cannot be a COP, take promotional exams to become IGP. And so the IGP position is not one of the ranks within the service that is earned by the individual serving in the service.
I totally agree. I totally get
you
the
agree
point
with me. It is an appointment it's an appointment that the Constitution has given the powers to the, so it's a privilege given to you by the president.
So the point is so irrespective of the position that you have in the police service.
Exactly.
Once you're appointed by the president, you become
the
IGP.
Yes. So you are heading the institution.
Okay.
So if you are dismissed as IGP or you are replaced as IGP, it doesn't mean that the rank that you earned, which was the COP, before becoming IGP, that rank you have been demoted. He is saying that removing or replacing him as IGP means that his rank has been reduced. And I'm telling you that the position of IGP, IGP is not traditionally a rank. It's a position of privilege.
In theory.
No.
In theory, I agree with you.
How do you become IGP?
No, I get it. In theory.
Let me look at let me show you regulation 2.
So when you are on leave,
let me look at
when President Akufo-Addo, July 21st, 2021,
let me show you
he appointed Dampari.
Let me show you regulation 2.
Yes, show me the regulation 2.
The service shall have post and rank specified in the second schedule. Post and rank specified in the second
post and rank.
So the second schedule, there is the ranks. And that is what we refer to.
I'm happy. You see,
you understand?
Moro, he is vindicating my point.
How am I vindicating your point?
What is he saying? The CI says what? Post and rank.
Yes.
And I am telling you that the IGP and the 191B talks about rank. He didn't talk about position. No, President did not say, I am reducing Dr. Dampari from a COP to an assistant commissioner of police.
No.
The letter from Honorable Felix Ofosu-Pachi did not say that Dr. Dampari is being demoted as a COP because that is his rank. That is a rank. But the IGP is a position that the law says is bestowed upon you by the president.
You see?
Why do you want to mix the two and say no? You are failing to speak to Eugene Ahin's press statement in July 2021. Was President Akufo-Addo wrong in appointing Dampari? Answer this question to the viewers. Was President Akufo-Addo wrong?
Stick to one. And you see,
why are you running away from that? Okay, let's say that we are buying your argument.
Listen.
Was President Akufo-Addo, had President Akufo-Addo acted unconstitutionally by appointing Dampari?
Okay.
When Opombeno had not retired.
Now it looks like you are the host now.
No. It's a simple question. Maybe you should help us answer it.
No, I don't have it, right? You read it. And
you don't have the letter.
No,
I can show you. I can show you a copy of the letter.
What you read, right, my brother?
This is the letter.
It's fine.
And your producers can even show it on the screen. This is the letter signed by Eugene Ahin.
Listen,
2021.
What you read?
Why are you making it look like this is the first time a president is appointing IGP?
Was to the effect that the previous one was supposed to proceed on leave.
Okay.
Because I think that
when you proceed on leave, does it mean that there are two IGPs?
So
leave is not a leave. Doesn't mean that you have two IGPs.
John,
it's very problematic interpretation.
Look, I think it's a simple issue,
yes.
And I don't know why we're really litigating over this matter.
See, we have mentioned that I am not for IGP A or B because look, I don't have any issue with any of them.
You
so
it is not personal. Indifferent.
For me, it is about acting within the law, and I believe that the police service is part of the public service. If the removal and reduction of rank for junior officers require that you show just cause, then I believe that when it comes to that of the Chief Justice, you should also show just cause.
All right.
If the president didn't show just cause, then I'm saying that he's acting in violation of the
law. So in all of these, in all of this, we have to live, we have to survive. It's about bread and butter issues. And the bread and butter issues is largely determined by government policies and programs as far as the economy is concerned. So a budget has been read. And the budget was read this week. We have heard all kinds of interpretations and all kinds of reactions to the budget. In fact, in today's dailies, the minorities press conference that they held yesterday has been reported quite widely in most of the papers. So I will take it from today's daily guide. It says Finance Minister used voodoo numbers. That's according to the minority, and the story is on page 3 of the paper. And as Kofi Edu from Parliament House reports that the minority in Parliament has accused the government of employing questionable fiscal calculations to paint a dark picture of the economy and discredit the previous administration. According to them, the recent budget presentation by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kingsley Ato-Forson, has included 49.2 billion in unreleased claims without proper verification or auditing. Addressing the media in Parliament, the minority led by former Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam expressed concern over the government's approach to fiscal calculations. The minority said these figures were inserted into the fiscal framework without undergoing the necessary scrutiny as admitted by the Finance Minister himself in paragraph 135 of his speech under the 2025 expenditure measures. While we do not doubt the possibility of accumulating some arrears between end 2022 and end 2024, given our own peculiar liquidity constraints, including outstanding expenditure claims gathered from MDAs, We are very surprised that this was done without first undertaking the correct verification or audit of the numbers, the minority stated. They argued that the move distorts the actual fiscal performance of the government, creating a misleading impression that the end-time 49.2 billion expenditure claims were generated solely in 2024. Dr. Adam asserted that this inclusion is not just a erroneous addition of expenditures alien to the fiscal framework, but also a demonstration of a lack of understanding of the mechanics. Now, this is what he means by the fiscal framework distortions. The minority further explained that fiscal framework is centered on central government operations, and any unverified claims could introduce elements of general government accounting which distorts accurate fiscal reporting. A classic example is the Controller and Accountant General's final accounts, which serve as one of the sources of information for fiscal framework, but are based on general government accounting. If you take the information from its face value and plug into the fiscal framework, you will be reporting on two very distinct items. What we usually do is work through the numbers and pick the central government expenditure only. Now, it says this can only be done through verifications and auditing, the minority emphasized. They also criticized the finance minister for presenting a budget that relies on unverified claims to determine the country's fiscal deficits and primary deficits on a commitment basis. They state that it was irresponsible for the minister to use unaudited figures to justify economic challenges. And it talks about compliance with IMF standards. The minority also raised alarm about the implications of these fiscal miscalculations on Ghana's compliance with the ongoing International Monetary Fund program. They cited the IMF technical memorandum, which explicitly defines how to derive the primary balance, emphasizing that the government inclusion of unreleased claims does not align with this methodology. What the government has put together as unreleased claims of 49.2 billion cannot fit into the definition because they are not reported in the gift mix. Now, this is just one aspect of the press conference that was held yesterday. So we'll look at it and then there are other aspects. But this 49.2 billion unreleased claims, I mean, you've been on this matter for the whole of this, the entirety of this week. Explain to us exactly what your problem with this particular matter is, before we go ahead to look at your issue with lean government and lean expenditure, which is the second part of our conversation. What exactly is the problem with these unreleased claims that you keep harping and talking about?
No, okay. So, I mean, let me begin by stating that when it comes to the economy and economic discussions, I'm a bit challenged.
Okay.
But from my understanding,
okay,
the amount they're talking about, the 49 billion, has been added as part of our debt and it hasn't been verified, okay, I think in simple terms. And so you kind of increase our debt stock by this figure when indeed the matter or the amount as we claim hasn't been verified. That is why I say it's not verified. That is why we are saying that they brought it from an unaudited account.
Okay.
Because if the account is really audited, from the position of the minority, this 49 billion will not be there. And it's very simple. You know, in our small companies, we have audited accounts and unaudited accounts. The unaudited accounts, you can put figures there, but once the auditors come through, they will come with the lenses of the auditor and ensure that the correct figures are put there. Sometimes when the figures are audited, you see that it can come low or the figures can go up. And so it's just baffling for us that the finance minister will include this as part of the debt when indeed the finance minister himself agrees that this is an unaudited claim. And for us, that is a big problem. Now, the budget general, unless you want us to go, but the general...
But why is this unaudited figures which have been added to our debt stock? Why is that a problem for you?
No, but
why is that an issue?
No, it is an issue because it will change our debt portfolio.
Okay.
If it's audited, because it can be audited and be removed.
Right.
Okay, as not properly accrued or as not properly recorded. So before we all know, before you can take any accounts to anywhere, you need to ensure that it is audited. If it's not audited, then it means that it's not complete. All right. I mean, if it's audited, if it's from an audited source, I'm not sure we're going to have issue with it. That's why we claim that it is not verified. You understand? And the finance minister is not denying that it's not verified. You have to make sure that the numbers you put in your national budget are numbers that are verified. And that is why, I mean, my brothers feel that the numbers are voodoo numbers, and where did you plug them from? Because we also have the books. We don't think that this is a figure that is actually verified and it can be added to that stock. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have something to say, or you want to look broadly speaking about the budget before he responds to the issue of the unreleased claims?
Yes, I mean, let me.
Okay, that's fine. Yes. Please go ahead.
And I think that the people of Ghana have been presented with a budget that has a lot of issues. For me, the major issue from this budget is the fact that this government, which promised jobs and employment for our youth, is saying that, look, we are going to freeze employment. I mean, how do you freeze employment and claim that you're going to create jobs for the people? I mean, so where do you situate 24-hour economy in this? Because under their own 24-hour economy, you're going to create so many jobs to the extent that you have 3 people doing one job, okay? And so if that is the situation, it means that you're going to have an abundance of jobs. But here's the case, you are freezing employment. So are you going to start your 24-hour economy with the number of people in the service already who are doing just fine, or you are going to add more? Okay, now if you are freezing employment, you cannot obviously be telling me that you are, going to create jobs. For me, that's the number one thing. One of the reasons for the NDC's major victory was the issue of employment. And so one would have expected that this government would do everything to create employment. Another thing which has to do with the employment is also the fact that the government has reduced subsidies from gas that were used to be the case for companies that receive gas from Ghana Gas. Okay, they will receive this gas at subsidized rate, be able to produce, employ a lot of people, and there are a lot of companies which were receiving these subsidies. But the government has taken away the subsidies. Now, the problem that is going to bring is that these companies, they are going to have to increase the cost of their goods because the cost of production is going to go up. Then they will pass it on to the consumers. Now, if the price goes up and the consumers are unable to buy, what's going to happen is that they are going to have a stock of products which are not moving. That will mean they have to sack some of their people. And so a policy the government is pushing is going to lead to unemployment in the private sector, because right now the companies that were getting these subsidies under the Akufo-Addo government, the Akufo-Addo government did that to promote investment into the industry. The companies were coming in so that they would get these subsidies. It was a form of attraction. Now the companies that haven't started won't come at all. Those that are in, they are going to have to dismiss people. The goods and services are going to go up because the subsidies have been removed. Again, this is a budget that is also going to increase the prices of electricity, because again, the prices of gas for the power producers have been increased by this budget. The minister says that the gas prices are going to be increased. Now, if the power producers who use the gas, as fuel, are going to buy the gas at more expensive price, they are going to pass that on to consumers. And the consumers are you and I, the people of Ghana. We are going to bear the brunt of this budget by the increase in electricity prices. The budget also says, and for me, one of my biggest worry is their so-called big push, 10 billion big push plan. Look, this is a government that came in claiming that most of the infrastructure we have in this country have been either stalled or destroyed, and that we're going to fix them. And then the president says, I'm going to invest $10 billion into this infrastructure. Now, your first year, what do? One would have expected that in your first year, in order to convince the people of Ghana that you are going to push infrastructure development, at least you bring half of what you've promised the people of Ghana. What did he do? He, out of the 10 billion requirement for this infrastructure push, he only gave the people of Ghana $800 million. It tells you that this is just too much talk, not enough commitment for the infrastructure development that the president spoke about. Now, if you even approximate the 800 million to 1 billion, what it means that in the 4 years this government is going to be in power, you are only going to commit $4 billion for your so-called infrastructure push. Now, this is a big policy of the government, and you are not committing money into this project. What are you telling the people of Ghana? It seems the president believes that he can tell us anything for us to believe. Now, this same government, which is not putting money into the infrastructure, is pushing 2.5 billion Ghana cedis into the office of the president. The office of the president has been allocated 2.5 billion Ghana cedis for the running of the office of government business. And so I'm asking myself, what kind of budget is this? The one which will benefit the people of Ghana, you are not putting money into it. The one which will benefit you and your appointees, yes, you are allocating a lot of money into it. So I have a problem. I have a problem with this budget. The president says, for instance, that he's reduced taxes. We mentioned bet tax. Even there was an issue. But let's say that you are reducing bet taxes and COVID-19 taxes. Now the question is, where do you bring this from? You know, and they know that they need to fill that hole. What are they talking about? Sustainability fund. They are saying that they are going to increase their allocation from the sustainability fund from 1% to 3% to make up for the shortfall. Have they thought about the fact that these natural resources, because they're talking about gold, have they thought about the fact that the price of gold can go down? Have they thought about the fact that production can go down? If production goes down and the price of gold on the world market also goes down, where do we get the money to fill this pothole? So a lot of populism, a lot of, they want to kind of create some excitement. But I'm worried, in the end, the people of Ghana are going to suffer. In the end, the prices of electricity, are going to go up because of this policy. In the end, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs because of their policy of removal of subsidies on the gas prices. In the end, a lot of people who would have rather been in the public service are not going to go there because there's freeze unemployment. In the end, most of the infrastructure development going on in the country are going to stop. And I'm worried. I'm worried for my constituency. So my constituency, the NPP government started one of the major road construction to ease the traffic within the Kumasi and the road that leads to northern region all the way to Burkina, Mali. They all use the Swami road. That road is now, I am afraid, is going to get stuck because the president is not committed to infrastructure development as against his own claims. So, my brother, this budget doesn't really inspire confidence. This budget is just brought it to get some people excited, the young people who were staking these bets get excited. But look, life is going to be harder along the road, and they should brace for it. I am worried that this president and his budget will not help us the way they told us.
Madam, well, you promised to run a lean government. What has happened?
Yes, I think that it's right for me to use your platform to congratulate the finance minister for giving us an excellent budget, delivering a budget that gives hope, a budget that addresses the fundamental issues with our economy, and a budget that emphasizes on fiscal discipline, because the fiscal indiscipline accounts for the debt, the ballooning debts, and the challenges that we are confronted with today. In the last 8 years, we saw how government under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his appointees never prioritized the needs of Ghanaians in their budgets. They were good at coming out with nice and beautiful names for budgets, Asempa budget, whatever budget, blah, blah, blah budget. And all of that led us into the ditch, a deep hole that we are trying to bring ourselves out of, because the country's economy was run aground. And the economy was so challenged that a friend of mine will tell you it was a neck-pressing economy, to the extent that even they, in the majority then, the NPP MPs, couldn't take it any longer. And so they were pushing for the removal of the finance minister. 98 of them actually signed that petition asking for the finance minister to be removed. So it is surprising that all of a sudden, it is as though the NPP has the men who could run the economy, had beautiful ideas about how the economy should be run, and they never practice or they never put that into use in their 8 years. After their defeat, and we have started on a very good note, they want to poke their nose into how the economy is run. And many of the issues, oh no, I allow you are allowed you to. And many of the issues that they are raising are not even true. And so we'll get into the argument. The first one is the issue of a lean government. Indeed, President Mahama and the NDC is running a lean and an efficient government. President Mahama promised to run the government with not more than 60 ministers. We have seen the Obolo-sized governments before. There was a point the president kept appointing. There was no limit. And they told us that because of the challenges we were confronted with, they needed more men. But again, if you look at the economy and how they performed, it tells you that you don't need numbers to run an effective government. What you need is the quality of the men that you appoint. At the point, they had 126. Then when Ghanaians complained and all of that, it came down to 88 at a point. We are running, currently we are 56, 4 more to go. By the end of today or by the end of this week, the other 4 deputies will also be nominated. And so we are running a lean government, and there is no debate about that. Again, the issue of presidential staffers. Under President Akufo-Addo, 391 presidential staffers were appointed to the presidency as political appointments. The presidency had over 1,800 workers, but 391 were appointed directly by the president as presidential staffers. When we talk about the 1,000 plus cleaners, technical assistants, and technical people, these are civil servants. But I'm talking about 391 political appointments. As we speak today, President Mahama has appointed only 30. And he's given us a promise that there will be a significant cut in the numbers. And so even when he decides to appoint more, they will not get anywhere close to the 391 that the NPP ran with. And so when they talk about running a lean government, these are the facts. We are running a lean and efficient government, because what we have been able to achieve in just 2 months with these numbers, it tells you that we are on the right trajectory.
What have you achieved?
We are on the right trajectory. Now, they are talking about budgetary allocations to the presidency. You see, there is a book that I will recommend to every leader, every young politician. The title is How to Lie with Statistics. I think that the NPP members, especially their MPs like John Darko and Co, who speak to the issues of the economy, may have mastered the act of telling lies, malicious lies with the statistics. No, No, I'm talking with respect to the economy. Such that I will give you. No, you see, I allowed you to say so many things about President Mahama.
He says he feels offended.
You feel offended. No, if you're offended that I said
you calling me a liar.
No, I mean you have mastered the art of telling lies with the figures.
No, he didn't say you're lying.
I didn't say you're lying. I said you and the minority, you have mastered the art. For example, they are talking about the budgetary allocations to the office of the president. Now, it is important to understand that when we say office of government machinery or the office of the president, we're not talking about President Mahama's office as an individual. This budgetary allocation we're talking about includes all the agencies that were under the ministries that have been scrapped. And so, for example, Ministry of Information is no more. We now have a Minister of State in charge of government communications. So what it means is that the Information Services Department, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, and all these other agencies that were under the Ministry of Information today will be under the office of the president for budgetary purposes. And so it is important for you to look at the budget from that angle. And then you juxtapose it to how much was the allocation in the 2024 budget to the Ministry of Information as compared to the amount of money budgeted for the Office of Government Communication. That is where you see whether or not we are running a more efficient government and we are running on less budget. So when you put all these numbers together and you create the impression as though the presidency is the one receiving, or the office of the president alone is receiving all that amount, you may be, telling lies with the figures or trying to maliciously interpret the figures. Are we running a leaner government? Yes. Are we running a more efficient government? Yes. Why? Because if we had the Ministry of Information as a ministry, Honorable Felix Obosu-Kwakye would have had a deputy. And there would have been chief, and in fact, he said the staff of the ministry, before it was dissolved, stood at about 70 plus people. But now all you see is that Felix and Shamima, Hajia Shamima, and 5 others who are helping them to do the work of government. So the rest of the civil servants there have been assigned to other agencies and other ministries. So what you do, it means that the office is running on a leaner budget. And so we are running a lean and a more efficient government. But you see, Moro, there are some aspects of the conversation on the budget that all of us must pay key attention to. The first one is the issue of fiscal discipline. Under the NPP, we saw how the public purse was abused such that the people who promised to protect the public purse did not only abuse the content of the public purse, but they actually left with the entire purse. There was no purse at all. In that public purse, 58 billion was allocated for the National Cathedral project. How productive is that project? 58 billion. In that public purse, we saw how government under President Akufo-Addo mismanaged our economy. And according to surveys, even 12 billion annually was lost to corruption. President Mahama and Dr. Ato-Forson have a simple solution. They said that we are going to scrap some taxes, as we promised. Then the question of how do you meet the shortfalls when you take away those revenue sources? And the answer that the finance minister gave, very profound, was that we ought to stop the bleeding. Because it is not so much about what is coming into the national kitty. It is about how what comes into the kitty is managed. How judiciously is it used? And that is the question that the finance minister sought to answer. So he says that let's stop the bleeding. It means if you were losing 12 billion annually to corruption,
under this government, we will not be losing that 12 billion. Now, when you put together your earnings from the BEX tax, e-levy, and all the others that have been scrapped, it is not even up to the 12 billion that you lose to corruption. And so don't overburden the Ghanaian people with taxes in the name of raising revenue when what comes into the kitty, you are not able to manage it properly. Then, Finance Minister spoke about the removal of taxes, and there is this issue of the betting tax. He said there are some problems. There's nothing like a problem. The betting tax, and the Finance Minister made no mistake. Let me be very emphatic. There was a betting tax of 10% on bet winnings. That has been removed. As we speak today, just yesterday in Parliament, the Finance Minister presented the bills to Parliament, and there was a first reading of it. So he laid before Parliament the bill for the removal, because when these are legislations, and so when you speak about the removal, Parliament must pass a new bill to amend or repeal the existing legislation, which makes Ghanaians pay the e-levy and the betting tax. And so when their former finance minister says they never collected bet tax, it raises lots of questions about those who were managing our economy. Because if the finance minister, the immediate past finance minister, did not know that they were collecting 10% betting tax, it raises questions about whether or not he was in control and he understood the setup. No, but that's what he said.
I think that.
No, but how does it say something? He said that's not what he meant.
Yeah, and then because we don't have all day, our time is almost up.
Yes.
So let's make progress.
So no, I mean, that's what he said, and you are telling me that that's not what he meant. When he said that, you can play the video. He said that they never collected back tax.
You go ahead.
Am I quoting him wrongly?
Yes.
No, that's what he said. But the issue of the allocations. And he talked about the 10 billion big push. And he made some calculations that says that in 4 years we'll have only 4 billion. I mean, this calculation is the real definition of voodoo economics. And I can understand why my brother says that he's challenged when it comes to issues of the economy and finance. It is simple voodoo economics. The promise was that in 4 years, I will spend up to 10 billion on infrastructure development, which we call the big push. Nowhere in that promise did he say that I will divide it equally among the 4 years. If I said I want to spend 10 billion in 4 years, I can decide that in my first year, because I am resetting, because the government is now deciding to find its grounding, maybe even for the first year, let me not make any allocation to the 10 billion big push, and I may be right to do so. So if government has decided to allocate 800 million, and you claim that per your calculation, it means every 4 years, for the 4 years, we'll have only 4 billion. It is not so, because there's no way. It doesn't mean that if 800 is allocated this year, in our first year, it means that in the second year, it will still be 800.
Okay.
I mean, it is simple mathematics.
I think
we are looking at the resources available to us as a country. We are looking at the fact that you are leaving behind an economy that
grew at 5.7.
I can talk about the growth. An economy that is so debt-ridden, that you virtually have to go into the pockets of Ghanaians and seize their savings in the name of the DDEP.
Okay.
That is the economy you left behind.
Let me give the rest of the
5.7, the 5.7 growth rate that you talk about. Look, they are drivers of economic growth. And the finance minister is right to say that the economy grew at 5.7% primarily because of the mining sector. Because when you look at the non-mining sector growth, what is the growth of industry? It is a negative.
Okay.
That is the actual point of management.
Let me give the rest of the 5 minutes to him because of time.
All right.
Yes.
John, thank you very much.
Please be a bit snappy because of time. Yes.
And look, my brother, I'm not afraid to say that when it comes to the economy, it's not my forte at all. But
you mean you're handicapped?
Yes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and I admit that. But the numbers are very clear when I say that when the president told us that he's going to give us 10 billion for the 4 years, one would have expected that you start well from the first year. Now, if in the first year you're only able to give 800 million, we can imagine what will happen. And I rounded it. No, wait. I rounded it up by saying that even if he's supposed to give 1 billion in a year, in 4 years, it's going to be 4 billion. Now we live to see. I am saying that this budget, okay, is a 1 year budget, and you have told us in this budget that you have a 10 billion push agenda, $10 billion push agenda. I will expect that this budget, this first year, you make a bigger progress, a bigger allocation to that. Now, talking about lean government, look, I mean, until recently, I didn't even know that there are presidential staffers in charge of regions. That there are presidential staffers in charge of all the regions, apart from the regional ministers. How do you tell us that you are running a lean government when you have appointed all these presidential staffers? And look, the ministries.
Let me correct that. There's no. President Mahama has not made any appointment of presidential staffers in charge of regions.
Okay.
Oh, so but they are all the interpretation. No, they are all the way. Show me the letter.
So I think it's false.
President Mahama has appointed presidential staffers, but he has never assigned to any of them that you are in charge of.
Okay. At least I've met the one in Ashanti region.
No, please. Show us the letter. This is a very, very big platform. Let's show us the letter.
And so, you see,
show us the letter.
Oh, my brother, let me make my point. You know it.
What is your ground? What is the evidence that he has appointed? I think these are important things that we have to talk about.
It's a legitimate ask, which is, where's the evidence?
Where's the evidence that there's somebody appointed in charge of?
I know at least I know the one in my.
And you saw his letter? No, I want it to be on record.
It doesn't make it official. So it's not official. So let's just say it's
but we've made a lot of appointments. Have I seen all the letters?
John, please go ahead.
So
we have 2 more minutes.
So we have
2 more minutes.
I think
I want him to
doesn't want me to speak.
It's just 2 more minutes.
So when you have presidential staffers in charge of regions, when you have all these ministries, when you have all these ministries,
you know it is not
when you have all these ministries. You are retaining all the ministries. So sometimes you wonder where the savings are going to come from.
Who is in
You
charge?
understand?
I don't know. I don't.
Oh, my brother.
Let
me make this point. That for me, I was expecting that the president will really show commitment to some of their own campaign promises. So, for instance, if you look at the idea that they are going to establish Women Bank, I mean,
yes,
it was sold to the
51 million has been allocated.
And when you know that to set up a bank, you need about 400 million Ghana cedis.
No, the 51 million is not.
So wait.
Seed capital for the bank. You have to.
And you wouldn't even allow him to.
The bank will not even let me speak. This is your budget. 51.3 million. When you need 400 million,
our time is up. Unfortunately,
for me,
our time is up.
It is interpretations of the budget.
Okay, so your microphones are even off. So your microphones are off. Is they off? Your microphones are off. Anyway, let me say a happy. Your microphones are off. All right, so let me say happy birthday to Dr. Charles Rekubrobe. Today you're 72 years old. Dr. Charles Rekubrobe is a former Chief Executive Officer of VRA and also a leading member of the New Patriotic Party. And today he's celebrating his birthdays. We call him the Venerable Dr. Charles Rekubrobe. And we're celebrating this day with you. We wish you the best. AKA Tarzan? That's a very important word. Yes, that's Tarzan. He's also a former presidential hopeful. You remember, a presidential hopeful. Also, today is the birthday of another important man, Mr. Albert Kandapa, who is our immediate past national security minister. He today is also celebrating his 72nd birthday. So today is the day for the 72nd birthday celebrants. And so we also want to wish him the best of luck and wish you all the good things that you wish for yourself. So on behalf of the management here, and I'm sure your entire family, we're wishing you a happy birthday. So this is what we draw the curtain on today's edition of Good Morning Ghana. But I have just 30 seconds. Ambassador Sampiali sent a message, and Ambassador Sampiali says that we are not hearing anything from your panel. Could Honorable John allow Edem to finish his submission before he comes in? Honorable John, you are not in a shouting bout, please. And then also, Prince Derek Ajay, I'm sure he's a good friend. He says, you see why the deputy IGP position is problematic. What if President John Dramani Mahama has swapped rather than replaced Dampare with Yohono? What would you have said? And also, Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm, and I'll do this briefly. Alhaji, please keep the messages short for me. It makes my work easier. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. I'm happy to see that a budget provided hope for the youth of this country. It is also a business-friendly budget for our businessmen and women. I'm also happy to see that Get Fund has been uncapped to make more money accessible for the development infrastructure for our schools. The budget also provided a dedicated fund for our free SHS, and I am so happy about it. And finally, the president is the chairman of the National Security Council, whose hands we have placed our safety. Is Imani and co saying that having placed our destiny in the hands and expect him to protect us, he has no right to choose who to work with to effectively carry out the assignment? Would we have the right to blame him should things go wrong? And McLean says, President John Dramani Mahama at his swearing-in ceremony focused on lamentation and playing the blame game rather than taking responsibility for the current state of affairs. That's McLean from Seshi. We also. Thank you very much for watching Good Morning Ghana. My name once again is Al Dumoro. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.